Hi there, this is Carl Irwin with a quick update on the PBR series that I've been putting out. This is not a tutorial, but just a quick explanation about a controversial issue here that has shown itself. I just want to point out that we've been Blender Nationed, so every now and then I make these tutorials and they get picked up, and thankfully Bart is willing to throw these on to Blender Nation in the tutorials, video tutorial section, and I appreciate that he's done this again. It has the first 3 or so instances of the series, and very, very grateful for that. It certainly gets my ideas out and gets a little bit of traffic for my YouTube channel. So I just wanted to point everybody to that, but I wanted to address an issue here that that kind of presented itself very quickly on there. This user here, and I don't want to bash this user, but he made a statement here. This is exactly what CG Cookie has done already, almost stolen, and he's referring to this tutorial here, which is a tutorial that was produced back in 2015 by Kent Trammell. I don't know Kent, so I'm sorry if I butchered your name. This is a tutorial that he created, and he kind of explains where the idea was coming from, that is dealing with classic OpenGL texture and material compositing, and this is an excellent tutorial, by the way. This is the first I saw it when it was mentioned here on Blender Nation. I went and watched it through, but I just want to clarify something about the comment that's being made here, that it's the same thing and that my idea was almost stolen from this. Well, that just isn't true. I would invite you to watch this tutorial, especially if you're new to OpenGL viewport GLSL material compositing, because Kent's demonstration here from a year ago, not quite a year ago, is more than a year ago, is very comprehensive and very concise, very articulate tutorial where he talks about the application of reflections. He makes a big deal about Fresnel mapping, which is something that is in my tutorial that I'm presenting here. But I just want to point out that instance is not the first time that it's shown up in any tutorials, nor is it the first time that it has shown up in my tutorials. I have been creating tutorials for 4 or 5 years now, and some of the earlier instances of GLSL material creation go back to 3 years. I've got, in fact, here's 4 years ago, where I'm doing some OpenGL material compositing tests. This is from my YouTube channel, and some other OpenGL material compositing here. This is the first time, this one here, a Blender 2.6 OpenGL image-based lighting tutorial. This is the first time that I saw anybody apply an image to a texture in a shadeless, or an image to an object as a texture in a shadeless way in order to generate or emulate lighting. Now this had to do with applying video textures to an image that is tracked into a scene. It essentially is demonstrating what I am showing you in my series now, but this is a 2-dimensional instance of that. So this is 3 years ago. Okay, and I've had tutorials on that same idea since then. This is 3 years ago, same idea. You can see, how long I've been doing this. My refraction tutorial that I'm applying to this series, I did something similar based on a video texture, 3 years ago, and I'm not the first person to do this either. Many people have done this kind of thing before, which has a bit of a Fresnel effect in there too. Here's another one 3 years ago, 2 years ago. This has been going on for quite some time. Lots of things that I've put out there with respect to GLSL material compositing been going on for a long time. And again, other people were doing this at the same time as myself. This is one on subsurface lighting, which we're going to revisit this, hopefully, in the series on the environment texture capabilities that we have. Now I want to point out the differentiation between those things that were happening, several years ago, and what is different in 2.78, because I think that's where the misunderstanding is at. In Kent's application of reflection, he's using an equirectangular image map, but you have to understand that he's applying it in a way that is two-dimensional, and is not reflecting a 360-degree static environment. And we've been able to do this for a long time, and he's just doing it again here. And you have to also understand the discrepancy in using an equirectangular image in a two-dimensional way, and that what the reflection really is in this instance is that it is a distorted image. The more accurate way would be to take a two-dimensional photograph and then apply that as a reflection. And then you would have a non-distorted image reflecting. Now, when you rotate, and you can see in this tutorial, and you can also see in my tutorials and others around that same era, when you rotate the camera view, that image stays stationary, and it should not. It should move around with the object as you are changing your perspective. With the creation of Blender 2.78, we can now map 360-degree mapped textures. This is completely new. This has never been able to be accomplished. You haven't been able to accomplish before 2.78 from the viewport Blender internal. Now, I did point to Clement Foucault's Blender build for Cycles OpenGL, which does apply 360-degree PBR approximation. That was the first time we've been able to do it. This is the internal instance of that same idea. And I do want to point out that my idea is not original to me, and I cite my sources. When I made my first video, I explained that my idea came from something I saw from Andrew Kramer, Video Copilot, in his Element 3D plugin for After Effects. And I don't know when this was published in 2012, around the time when I was first publishing the same idea using two-dimensional images. Very similar, by the way, to what Kent did in 2015, same idea. And that idea is to take a 360-degree environment map, which you can see. This should look very familiar to what I'm showing you in my new tutorials. And then map that onto your object to create or emulate lighting without any lights in the scene. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're not using OpenGL lights, except in my case we're using it to mask out shadows. Otherwise, all of the lighting in my series is being generated from an image, not from OpenGL lights, which is what Kent is doing. Kent is using OpenGL lights to create lighting and specularity and whatnot. So you got to understand what the difference is. Now, this idea that Andrew Kramer presented with his product was not capable in Blender as you see it here, using a 360-degree environment map until Blender 2.78. So that's why this is useful now, since 2012. We haven't been able to do it until now. So I'm presenting you a tutorial series that demonstrates that we can do it, shows you how to do it, gives you some ideas for doing it. But, this idea that this is exactly it hasn't been done already. The things I'm showing you haven't been done already with respect to environment mapping from a 360-degree environment. Guys, it's important to watch what's presented and understand it before you start shooting around these accusations. That's unfortunate. It really is. It's too bad. I invite everybody to watch this tutorial. It's a great tutorial. It really is concise. It's better than the ones that I put out years ago on the same idea. So, kudos to the CG Cookie people. I've learned a great deal from them throughout the years. They put out top-notch stuff, very well edited, very well presented. So, just wanted to address that one comment there, so people don't go off believing some of these things that are shot off the cuff here. Anyway, hopefully in the future we'll be looking at a few more concepts on the series dealing with subsurface scattering ideas. We'll be revisiting old ideas that I've presented years ago and some things that other people have also presented to, and I'll cite those sources as I need to, and then we'll work from there again into using ideas like this, where you're taking an object that has a pre-fabricated texture and material setup, and then applying that into a world environment and generating lighting using diffuse textures. So anyway, if you really want to find the source for my idea, it comes from here. You can see the link here. You can see who it's coming from, Andrew Kramer at Video Copilot. Go watch that tutorial. You'll understand what we're trying to do in the Blender 2.78 release. So anyway, just wanted to clear the air on that issue, and wish all of you again happy blending.